El Cerrito High School's Carl Collins started the North Coast Section Boys Division I singles tennis tournament as an unseeded player. He finished it as an NCS champion. Collins, a sophomore, won 3 of his 4 tournament matches in straight sets as he roared to the singles championship. He is the first unseeded player to win the NCS Division I boys singles title since 2012, when Albany's Andrew Gu won the first of his 2 titles. In addition, Collins is the first El Cerrito High athlete to win an NCS tennis championship, boys or girls, since at least 1954. In the first round, Collins defeated unseeded Jason Liu of College Park 6-1, 6-4. Collins' last match on the first day of competition on May 4 was the first of his 3 victories over seeded opponents. He dispatched number 4 seed Theo Dean of Granada 6-1, 7-5. On May 5, Collins finished the tournament with 2 more impressive victories. The semifinals produced perhaps his toughest match of the tournament, a 3-setter. Collins outlasted defending champion and number 1 seed Kobe Tran of James Logan 6-2, 2-6, 7-5. In the championship match, Collins dispatched No. 3 seed Luke Neal of Redwood 6-3, 6-1. The head Royce doubles team of Will Coop and Ty Tran also won an NCS title on May 5. Coop and Tran, the No. 1 seed in the NCS Boys Division II doubles bracket, won all 3 of their tournament matches in straight sets. In the first round, Coop and Tran shut down Marin Academy's Teddy Parsons and Brant Maxwell 6-0, 6-0. In the semifinal round on May 4, Coop and Tran dispatched Pablo Camada Martinez and Ju Greco of Cardinal Newman 6-2, 6-0. Coop and Tran defeated number 2 seed Jack McKean and Nathan Aoyang of Piedmont 6-2, 7-5 in the championship match on May 5. McKean and Aoyang beat Spencer Olsen and Hunter Lewis of Arcata 6-1, 6-1 in the first round, then edged Spencer Spivey and Max Marks of University 6-2, 1-6, 6-4. Baseball: Alameda stayed in first place in the West Alameda County Conference Foothill League with a sweep of San Leandro last week. The Hornets defeated the Pirates 14-2 and 5-3, and in between those games, Alameda beat Petaluma 12-6 in a non-league game. The Hornets entered this week with the 1st of January 12 Foothill League record and the 1st of January 20 record overall. Berkeley entered the week right behind Alameda with a 12-2 Foothill League record. Berkeley also swept their Foothill League opponent last week. On May 1, the Yellow Jackets took a 5-0 first-inning lead and didn't look back in a 13-2 win over Arroyo. Michael Dixon was 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored and 3 RBI. Caden Wells added 2 hits, 2 runs scored and 2 RBI, and Caleb Milliken had a double and 3 RBI. 2 days later, Justice Paraiso Caceres fired a 5-hit shutout with 8 strikeouts and only 1 walk in a 6-0 victory over the Dons. Milliken hit a double and a triple, scored a run and drove in a run. Tucker Andrews was 2 for 4, including a double, and drove in 2 runs. Paraiso Caceres was 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored, and Wells also had 2 hits. Berkeley entered this week with a 12-2 Foothill League record and 18-4 overall mark. Bishop O'Dowd split a series with Castro Valley in Foothill League action. The Dragons received a home run and a double from Liam Rizzo in a 3-2 loss on May 1, but O'Dowd prevailed 2 days later in 11 innings, 10-9. Luke Ditzler slammed a home run and was 2 for 3 with 3 RBI for the Dragons. Matthias Haas and Adam Bale also had 2 hits for O'Dowd, and teammate P.J. Carney had a double and 2 RBI. Bishop O'Dowd entered this week with a 7-6 Foothill League record and 13-10 overall mark. El Cerrito and Street. Marys split a series in Tri-County Athletic League action last week. On May 2nd, Ricky Salas pitched a 6-hitter with 4 strikeouts and no walks in El Cerrito's 11-1 win. Isaac Sloan had 2 doubles, 2 runs scored and an RBI. Sawyer Whitney was 2 for 3, including a double, with 2 runs scored and 2 RBI. Henry Degnan added 2 hits, a run scored and an RBI. Lucas Mendoza had 2 hits and Zachary Desposito drove in the Panthers' only run in the loss. But St. Mary's turned the momentum in a big way on May 4th, as Daniel Colwell fired a no-hitter with 11 strikeouts and 1 walk in a 2-0 victory. Desposito hit a double and scored a run, and both Spencer Helvig and Dominic Fideli drove in runs in the win. Entering this week, El Cerrito was 8-4 in the TCAL, 16-6 overall, and St. Mary's was 7-5 in league play, 12-10 overall. Piedmont kept its slim lead in the WACC Shoreline lead with a sweep of MT. Eden. The Highlanders had a couple of great pitching performances, starting Carson Gerhardy's 4-hitter with 7 strikeouts and only 1 walk in a 3-0 victory on May 1st. Paul Woolcott was 3 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. E.J. Chung and Joe Sassy drove in the Highlanders' other 2 runs, and teammates Grant Keating and Matthias Haggerty had doubles in the win. 2 days later, Piedmont's Adam Porter fired a 6-hitter with 6 strikeouts and no walks in a 3-1 win. Sassy smashed a solo home run, and Gerhardy had 2 hits. Owen Levinson and Haggerty both drove in runs in the victory. Piedmont entered this week with a 9-4 Shoreline record and the 1st of July 14 overall mark. Encinal was right behind Piedmont entering this week with an 8-4-1 Shoreline mark, the 1st of June 14 overall. The Jets split a series with San Lorenzo. The Rebels scored all 4 of their runs in the top of the 3rd inning on their way to a 4-2 win over Encinal on May 1st. Osiris Johnson was 2 for 3 for the Jets, and both Tristan Good and Cooper Vasquez drove in runs for Encinal. But the Jets responded with a 9-0 victory over San Lorenzo 2 days later. John Addis pitched a 5-hitter with 5 strikeouts and only 2 walks, and Johnson slammed 2 home runs and a double, finishing 3 for 4 with 3 runs scored and 5 RBI. Uriah Lewis was 2 for 2 with a walk, run scored and an RBI. Mason Liag drove in 2 runs in the victory. Softball Bishop O'Dowd maintained a hold on second place in the WACC Foothill standings with a pair of wins last week. O'Dowd had 12 hits in a 13-3 win over San Leandro on May 1st. Elizabeth Avery had 3 hits, including a double, 3 runs scored and 3 RBI. Nicole Hamoud smashed a home run and was 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored and 4 RBI. Michael Edwards Gonzalez was 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored and 2 RBI, and Frankie Hamoud was 2 for 2 with an RBI in the victory. The Dragons then shut out Arroyo 6-0 behind the 2-hit pitching of Avery. The junior had 12 strikeouts and only 2 walks in the win. She was also 4 for 4 at the plate, including a double, with 2 runs scored. Nicole Hamoud slammed a home run and a double, finishing 3 for 3 with 2 runs scored and 2 RBI. Frankie Hamoud was 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored and 2 RBI in the win, as Bishop O'Dowd improved to 6-3 in Foothill League play and 12-4 overall. Alameda also won 2 Foothill League games last week to improve to 5-4 in Foothill action and 12-7 overall. The Hornets produced 11 hits in a 7-4 win over Arroyo on May 1. Kennedy Miller crushed a home run for Alameda and finished 2 for 4 at the plate with a run scored and 3 RBI. Mira Piedmont added a triple as one of her 2 hits, and teammate Elizabeth Legg was 3 for 4 with 2 RBI for the Hornets. Then in a low-scoring game, Alameda edged Berkeley 2-1 on May 3. Lucy Helms pitched a 4-hitter with 4 strikeouts and 1 walk for Alameda. Meganina, Belovic and Legg all had 2 hits for the Hornets and Miller had an RBI. Berkeley's Georgia Tomasic was 1 for 3 with an RBI. Berkeley entered this week with a 7-1-0-1 overall mark and 2-7 Foothill record. St. Mary's went 2-1 in TCAL play last week to enter this week with an 8-3 league record, 11-6 overall. The Panthers edged Pinole Valley 7-2 on May 2, lost 6-5 to the Spartans 2 days later, then beat Albany 7-3 on May 5. El Cerrito improved to 9-4 in TCAL action, 11-10 overall, with 3 dominant wins in 3 straight days. Gauchos first shut out Albany 15-0 behind a 4-hitter from Hannah Lane Goldstein. The junior struck out 6 batters and walked only 1. Sarah McIntosh and Zelly Calavita both slammed home runs for the Gauchos, who scored 10 runs in the top of the 7th inning to pull away. Hannah Morse and Lane Goldstein both had 4 hits and scored 2 runs in the win, and the 2 players combined for 5 RBI. El Cerrito then beat Salesian 19-4 in a 5-inning game on May 3. Alyssa Chin was 3 for 4 with 3 runs scored and 3 RBI. Calavita was 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored and an RBI, and McIntosh also had 3 hits, a run scored and an RBI. Both Lane Goldstein and Morse drove in 4 runs. Finally, Lane Goldstein fired a 2-hitter with 6 strikeouts as the Gauchos shut out Albany 10-0 in a 4.5-inning game. Lane Goldstein was also 3 for 3 at the plate with 3 runs scored and 3 RBI. Calavita was 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored, and both Courtney Bain and Chin drove in 2 runs. St. Joseph Notre Dame improved to 6-0 in Bay County's League East play last week with a pair of victories. The Pilots first defeated Valley Christian 14-1 in a 4.5-inning game on May 1. Caroline Evans pitched a no-hitter with 12 strikeouts and 2 walks. She also was 2 for 2 at the plate with 3 runs scored and an RBI. Danielle Polson slammed a home run and was 2 for 4 with a run scored and 3 RBI. Katie Ono was 3 for 3 with 2 runs scored and an RBI, and Chantel Zavala was 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored and an RBI. Sarah Mahler also had 2 hits for the Pilots. St. Joseph Notre Dame then beat Head Royce 19-5 in a 4.5-inning game on May 4. Evans smashed a home run and was 2 for 2 with 4 runs scored and 4 RBI. Polson was 4 for 4, including a triple, with a run scored and 5 RBI. Samantha Schaefer had 3 hits in the Pilots' 17-hit attack, and Bella Tapia drove in 3 runs in the win, as St. Joseph Notre Dame improved to 15-2 overall.